So the trailer's been out of condition for a couple days now. Basically took the week off, so decided to continue down this preventative maintenance kick and start doing my brakes. So I changed the front brakes probably about 3 weeks ago or so. So time to start doing the back brakes off. Just got the cap off, loosened up all the lug nuts, got it jacked up. So time to take the wheels off. It should be fun. Of course, as soon as I get the wheels off, start getting hit with a little bit of snow. See it covering the truck there. But just keep it moving. The rotors look like they could be replaced, but that's a fucking job. Probably just gonna replace the calipers. The pads. And call it a day. Should last a little bit longer. Clean all this up. Let's get to it. Show y'all how easy it is to swap out these pads on this truck. Save yourself some money. This is a pretty easy job unless you have to swap out the rotors. If you have to swap out the rotors, you have to take out the whole axle hub. It's just a lot longer process, a lot more to do, but if you catch these things early, you can just swap out just the pads and you'll be good to go. This one probably needs rotors, but it's good enough for now. I'm just gonna swap out the pads. So you first is these 15mm. This is a F450. It's two 15mm bolts on each side, top and bottom. Just take those out. I just use a ratchet with a hammer. I just banged on it a couple times and it loosens it up. Just pull these out, and then these should start to slide back and expose the pads. So once you get that taken off, rest it on something. I use this little step stool. You do not want to break this cable, and you'll be either buying a new one or having to bleed the brake system, which is just a pain. But this should expose the brake pads. Literally pop them off just like that. They should not come apart like that. That's how you know these things were just done. Time for some new ones. I'll show you what the new ones look like. The new ones should come with clips also, so just replace the clips, clean all this off, brake clean. Ideally, I would get a new rotor, but like I said, I don't have one here now, and just they'll be all right. So when replacing clips, I like to compare the old and the new. So what I'll do is I can get this one off. So I'll put like that one there. I'll take off this one. I'll put this one here, and just remember, so when you go grab the new ones, you can just reference the old with the new ones and know exactly which one goes where. It just makes it a little bit easier later. Once you got the pads off, you just want to take a wire brush and just go ahead and clean off all these areas. Use brake clean, keep cleaning. Just try to get all the rust, all the dirt, the grime off of these areas. I'm gonna lube them up in a little bit, but you just want to clean it up as best as possible and give it good mating surfaces. Then you want to take a look at the pads, make sure there's not a different inner and outer. I took a look at all these, they're all the same numbers, so you know it's not a different ones for the in and the outside. But we'll just make sure we put them in right. These were the top two clips, these were the bottom two clips, just so I can reference them in a little bit. These were pretty far gone. Got my money out of those. This is what a new pad looks like with the thickness of that compared to that. I'd say I got my money's worth out of those, but I bought this truck, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago. They said they had to replace everything, brakes, all that, and just from the ones I saw in the front and the back, these brakes were not touched. So make sure you double check your equipment. Don't take the fucking salesman's word for it, because they're all just habitual liars trying to make some money. So what I like to do is get these pins out and clean off all that old grease and put some new ones on, re-lube it. There's two pins, one at the top, one at the bottoms. This is actually what slides in and out. That allows your brakes to compress and decompress. So you want to make sure that's got some good lube on it. So that's it. I use a rag to clean them off, and then I just repainted them. I like to use some Never Sees or Anti-Sees. Never had any problems with it in the past. Works well. You might choose to use something else, but that's what I use. So again, get in here. Healthy amount of brake cleaner. Just clean everything off, make sure everything's clean, mating surfaces are good to go. And then next we're gonna do is just compress this piston. I'll show you how we do that. So this is a setup that I use to compress the piston. Some people might use a piston compressor. It's like a tool that they have, but never had any issues with this. I literally just grabbed one of the old brake pads with a C-clamp and just compress it in. Reason why you gotta compress it is because, of course, the thickness of the new pads is gonna be greater than the old one, so you gotta push it back in so that they'll fit when you put it back onto the rotor. But to help in that process, what I like to do is just take the cap off of the brake reservoir, fluid reservoir, just so the air can escape and the fluid has somewhere to retreat. Makes it a little bit easier. I do like to put a little bit of WD-40 or some sort of lubricant on the pistons themselves before I compress them in, just to get them lubed up. You know, these things tend to fail from time to time. So any type of lubrication you can give it definitely helps. So this is what they look like compressed. They're almost all the way in, not quite, but some of them go completely flush against the housing, but not bad. So again, just want to keep everything nice and clean, taking it clean. This caliper, try to get as much of that brake dust off. And then we'll get to rebuilding. It's just essentially reversing the process. So this is where it's important to keep track of what clip went where. So this was the inside top. So what I do is I'll put this one here, and then I'll try to find another one that looks identical to it. Not that one. So this one. They're identical. So I know that goes top right, and I'll do the same process for, you know, essentially that was the top left, this is top right, bottom left. Just makes it easier. So I got those two clips in. I gotta do the other side. Welcome to New England, where it was snowing a couple seconds ago, and now the sun's fucking shining. They say, that was a stupid saying, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. But those two are all set. Let's match up these two. That's the top, that's the bottom, and get those installed. So what I like to do also is grab a little bit of anti-seize also, and I'll apply it to these. That just helps with any more of the vibration or any noises, squealing. So I just like to apply a healthy coat of that also. I'm telling you, lubrication is key. It never fucking hurts. Things in here, especially this rusted, like to fucking seize up. So the more you can lubricate it, the easier it's gonna make your life when you gotta replace it next time. I don't know who did this, but they looks like they put never seize around the entire fucking thing. I wouldn't do that, but somebody did. Don't hate it because it came off pretty easy, but it's fucking a mess. So the next step is to put the brake pads in. Just want to make sure that the curvature of the pad matches the curvature of the rotor. So of course this one goes like this, and then the other one on the other side goes like this. Sometimes tricky to get in, but just play with it a little bit, you should be able to get it in. I need two hands for this. So I got them both in. That's what it should look like. So now the caliper will sandwich in here. I'll just go around these. That's what's going to compress and decompress to stop the back. But I did forget to put the pins back in. You want to get these in as soon as possible, just so they don't build up any dirt or grime sitting around here. But they're pretty easy to slide back in. You literally just match them up there on the hole and just slowly slide them in. And keep pushing until the rubber cap goes over the lip there. I like to spin it a little bit, just compress it a couple times just to make sure it's nice and lubed up. So that one's good. Grab the next one, do the same. And you'll see that the rubber goes over the little edge there. Just want to keep pushing until it does. So there we go. And that's it. So last step is to take the caliper, slide it back in, put the 15mm bolts that I still need to clean up. I like to use the wire brush on those also, and clean those up a little bit, and then tighten everything down, and we should be good. The last step is just to get these 15mm 15 mil bolts back in. So you just play around with it for a minute. And just find the groove. And just tighten everything down to spec. Which your spec is a little more than hand tight for these. The caliper brackets, if you actually do have to remove this and take out the axle hub, which I'll probably have to do at some point soon, probably the next brake change, because these are getting pretty bad. Those you gotta tighten down pretty hard. That's what holds all this braking mechanism. You don't want to lose those, but these let everything shift. These don't have to be overly tight, but just pretty snug. Alrighty, so let me tighten everything down and we're done on this side. Just slap the wheels back on, reverse order, meaning the ugly one. Holy shit, that went away. This one next, and then hit the other side. And that's it. You just slide both the bud wheels on and tighten them up in star pattern. Don't forget to put your cap back on.